Good evening everyone, welcome to the official YouTube channel of Officer Saturday 24/7. So before starting the session, first let me know, is audio video both are okay? Are we good to go? So let me know first, is audio and video both are okay? Are we good to go? So this is our victory series that we have started at 7 p.m. and every day we are discussing certain number of questions from an individual unit of your module D. So we have started from module D here, and if you talk about module D, you will find here that module D have a biggest syllabus in the IFS, and the reason behind it, because a lot of units are there and the units cover a lot of questions there. Okay, that's why we can say that we have maximum number of questions or maximum number of topics available in your module D. So that's why we have started the victory series from the module D. Okay, and right now if we talk about today's session, this is our class number 9. It means already 9 session we have conducted in your victory series. Actually the regular timing of this class is 7 p.m. Okay, because you guys know today it was a webinar at 7 p.m. That's why we have changed the timing of the class, and we are having this class at 8:30 p.m. today. Otherwise it will continue go at 7 p.m. only on Officer Saturday 24/7, Monday to Saturday. Now next thing is that this is our class number 9th, you can see. So in the victory series we have started Indian economy, Indian financial system from your module D. Okay, and module D unit number 37 we are going to discuss today. That's your factoring and forfeiting and the trade receivables discounting system. So in the module D, we have completed financial market, money market, capital market, fixed income market, foreign exchange market, interconnectedness of these market, merchant banking and derivative market. All these have been completed, and today we are going to cover the factoring, forfeiting and trades. Okay. So before moving forward, if you haven't seen the earlier session, what you have to do, simply go to the official YouTube channel of Officer Saturday 24/7, go to the playlist. In playlist, you will find all the sessions recording available, so you can watch it whenever you want. Okay. So now let's start with the factoring, forfeiting. Let's first have an understanding of this chapter, and then we will practice certain number of questions. So first of all, it is talking about factoring, forfeiting and trades. They all are similar in a certain way. Okay, when it comes to the factoring, what happens in the factoring, there will be a certain party. Let's say one will be your seller, one will be your buyer, and one mediator will be there, that will be known as a factor. One mediator will be there, that mediator will known as what? It will be known as a factor. So what happened? The seller and buyer have a contract among them, and the seller have done the shipment of goods. The seller has sent the goods to the buyer. Let's say shipment of goods have been done. Now it's the responsibility of the buyer to make payment to the seller. Now what happened? Buyer has given the seller the certain invoice in which it is saying that your payment will be done on 26th of March. That's a future date have been given. So the first transaction happened that the seller done the shipment of goods to buyer, and then the second mechanism, in the second step, the buyer have given the receivables, the trade bill, or I can say the invoice to the seller, which says that the payment will be done on 26th of March. Now, but the seller needs an immediate payment because the seller have to start the another project, the another contract. Okay. So in that situation, seller in the third step will go to the factor. Okay, and will give that invoice to the factor and will ask immediate cash from the factor. Here the factor can be any bank of your or any financial institution can become the factor. Now after checking the invoice, factor will also check the credit worthiness of buyer, because in the end the factor is going to recover the money from the buyer. So after checking the credit worthiness, the next step is that the buyer will return the money. The factor will give, in the fourth step, will provide the immediate cash to seller. Okay, now when the due date comes, let's say due date is 26th of March. So when the due date comes, in the fifth step, factor will go to the buyer and will ask about the payment. Okay, and here in the sixth step, what will happen? The buyer will make the payment to the factor, okay, of the invoice, and the last step will be the remaining payment will be done or remaining amount will be sent by factor to the seller. This is what the factoring is. Okay, all the mechanism I have defined here, it is factoring. Factoring means when the seller goes to the bank and asks for an immediate cash. Okay, when we are talking about when a particular customer goes to the bank and asks for an immediate cash on behalf of the invoice of the trade, in that situation, bank make it possible for the seller, for the client, that the client will have a maximum capital available to start the new contract or start the new business. Okay, and it was actually introduced by RBI to make sure that more and more bills culture will be introduced in the country and more fluctuation of currencies will be done, or I can say flow of currency will continue in the economy. Okay, this is your factoring. Now, when it comes to the forfeiting, the same thing is there. Okay, in case of your forfeiting, what difference you will find here? Like in case of seller, you will have an exporter here. In forfeiting, you will find in place of seller, you will find exporter. In place of buyer, you will find importer. It means forfeiting is your what? It is your international forfeiting. It means with the another country you are performing the trade. Okay. Now the factor will known as here forfeiter. The factor will known as what? Forfeiter. So forfeiting is simply when in the international trade, when in the export and import of goods and services, banks provide immediate cash to the exporter on behalf of the trade bill. That is known as forfeiting. Okay. Exporter, importer and forfeiter will be there. So we have discussed what is factoring, we have discussed what is forfeiting. Okay, both are same, only difference is there related to the trade. And the next third one we have is trades. Now when it comes to trades, it's actually a form of factoring. What is trades? Trades is a form of factoring and it is available only for micro, small and medium enterprises. Okay, trades is only for what? It is only for a form of factoring and will be available to micro, small and medium enterprises only. So in the factoring and forfeiting and in trades, what we are actually doing? We are providing immediate cash available to the seller, to the exporter or to the MSME so that they will be able to continue their business, to start new contract, to start new agreement and will have a proper cash flow available so that the new business can be started. Okay, or the new contract can be started. So only difference is there. In factoring, it will happen domestically. It can be international, but there is certain exceptional cases. And the forfeiting will always be international. And the trades will only be for the MSME. This is the only difference among the three. Okay, this is the only difference among the three. इस एग्जाम के लिए कोई भी अप्लाई कर सकता है. एनी मैम, इफ यू अगर आप इस एग्जाम के लिए अप्लाई करना चाहते हो तो यू कैन गो फॉर द डीबीएफ के लिए कोई भी अप्लाई कर सकता है. ठीक है, टू गेट द नॉलेज ऑफ अ बैंकिंग. दिस इज नॉट अ हिंदी मीडियम सेशन. ये आपका हिंदी मीडियम सेशन नहीं है, ये इंग्लिश मीडियम सेशन है. इफ़ यू वांट टू ज्वाइन हिंदी मीडियम सेशन, अगर आपको हिंदी मीडियम सेशन ज्वाइन करना है तो मॉर्निंग में होता है 7:30 AM Monday to Saturday. Okay, that's a Hindi medium session. Okay, let's continue. So this is what the factoring, forfeiting and trade receivable discounting system we have. Now let's start and discuss in form of MCQ the same chapter. So the first question is talking about your factoring. Which of the following are correct about the factoring? So the certain statement have been given to us and they are asking which of the following is correct. First is saying factoring is an arrangement for financing a company's business against invoice raised on its buyers and in which the factor is responsible for credit control, sales, ledger administration and collection activities. Okay, that's the first statement. Second is talking about in full service factoring, the factor bears losses if the buyer fails to pay. Okay. The third is saying the factoring is an arrangement for management of receivables, maintaining the sales of receivable ledger, submitting sales account, collection of debt. So out of these three statements, what do you think which of the following is correct about the factoring? So factoring is actually a facility that bank provide to the customers or to its sellers or to its clients so that they will be getting the easy credit facility to continue their business or to continue their new contracts. Apart from that, it also helps in credit control, in sales ledger administration, and in the collection activities as well. So the first one is correct. Second is saying in full service factoring, the factor bears the losses if the buyer fails to pay. Let's say on the due date, when bank went to the buyer and asking for a payment, at that time the buyer refuses to make the payment and the buyer defaults. In that situation, if you have a full service factoring, that's a type of factoring. If you have a full service factoring, then the factor bears the loss. It means the bank bears the loss if buyer is not going to pay. Clear? So this is also true. Third is saying that factoring is an arrangement for the management of receivable, maintaining the sales or receivable ledgers. It submits the sales account, collection of debt. Everything is correct regarding the factoring here. Okay, receivable means the trade bills, or we can call it an invoice that have been given by buyer to the seller, which says that the payment will be done in the future. Okay, now the next question. So right answer will be your D. Right answer we have is D. All are correct. Second question is talking about there are two types of factoring services, dash and dash. So factoring have two types. One of the types says that if the buyer defaults, the seller have to give back the money to the factor. And the second says if the buyer defaults, the bank or the factor, we can say, have to bear the loss. So there are two types of factoring that you have to answer which of the following is correct. So do remember, in one type of factoring you will find that the seller have to return the money to the factor, and the another type of factoring will says that the bank have to face the loss. The seller do not have to repay the money. And the right answer here will be recourse, non-recourse, direct, indirect, with recourse, without recourse, both A and C. So what do you think? Which of the following is correct in context to your factoring? A, B, C or D? So actually the right answer will be your D. Right answer is what? It is D. Both A and C. You can call it recourse or you can call it with recourse. The non-recourse is also known as a without recourse. So they are the other name. Okay. They are the other name of each other. So when it comes to the recourse factoring, it means with recourse. When it comes to the non-recourse factoring, it means without recourse. Okay. So right answer will be your D. A and C is correct here. Right answer will be your D. Clear? Next question. Next we have here, which of the following are correct about the advantages of factoring? The correct statement about the advantages of your factoring. So you have to find out the correct. So what is the benefit of advantage? The first benefit is that you will get cash whenever you want. Easily it will be available to you. Okay, so first is saying factory replaces the high cost market credit and enable purchases on cash basis for availing the cash discount. This is true. It actually helps you to get the capital with the less costing of the market. Now, the customer gets instant finance against invoice. Okay, that's also true. I have just told you, you have to give the invoice and you will get the cash, immediate cash. Low margin, that is up to 20%, thereby improving the cash flow also. Low margin means what? Means in the factoring, whatever your amount of invoices, of that invoice, 75 to 80% amount will be given to you in immediate case. Okay, let's say if my invoice is of 100 rupee, then I will be getting 75 to 80 rupees immediately from the bank. Okay, and bank will have margin of 20% only, that is 20 rupees in case of our example. So 20% low margin will be there. Okay, so more cash flow will be there out of your invoice value. Next, the customer gets large credit grace period. Next we have what? The customer gets large credit or grace period. That is true. You will get a grace period of 60 days as well. Okay, now next we have each invoice is followed up for payment by the factor on the due date and thereafter. So it's very true. I like the seller do not have to go to the buyer on the due date. It is the responsibility of a factor now. On the due date, the factor will go to the buyer and ask for a payment. So that's responsibility is not of a seller. It means all the statements or all the benefits are true or advantages are true about the factoring here. Okay, so your right answer will be all of the above, that is D. Right answer will be all of the above, that is 3. Okay, next question. It is asking about which of the following is are correct about forfeiting. Now the next term we have is forfeiting, and which statement is true about forfeiting, that you have to answer. So first is saying here, forfeiting can be defined as financing exports by discounting export receivables, evidenced by bills of exchange or promissory note carrying medium to long term maturity. Okay. Second is saying it provide on fixed rate basis, like known as discount up to 100% of the invoice. Third is saying when an exporter transfer his right to receive payment in favor of the forfeiter, the transaction is called forfeiting. Okay. Next we have forfeit is derived from the Greek word that is forfeit, which means surrendering of the rights. And you have to answer which of the following statement about forfeiting is actually incorrect. Not correct, we have to find out the incorrect statement. Okay, which of the following statement is incorrect about the forfeiting? A, B, C or D? So the first one is very much correct, like you are financing the export by taking the trade bills or the invoice of the contract. You are taking that contract invoice and you are providing immediate cash to the exporter. That is true. It provides fixed rate basis up to 100%. Like in factoring, we have discussed 75 to 80% immediate cash will be available. But in forfeiting, you will get 100% cash available. So this is also true. When exporter transfer his right to receive payment in favor of the forfeiter, the transaction is called forfeiting. That is also true. Forfeit is derived from a Greek word. No, actually it is derived from a French word. And that word is your forfeit. Which means what? Which means surrendering of rights. So the right answer will be here. All except 4 are. Acha. It is asking about correct statement. Acha, okay, theek hai. So the right answer will be all except 4. Only the fourth one is not correct. All the rest are correct. So right answer will be your C. So question is asking which of the following is are correct about forfeiting. All are correct except the fourth statement, because it's not a Greek word, it's a French word. Okay, so a minor changes can be done in the statement. So we have to very clearly find out which statement is true or which statement is false. So your right answer will be here. C, all except 4 are correct, but the fourth statement is incorrect. Now, next question we have about threats. So which of the following is our incorrect criteria for entities desirous of setting up the operating threats? So threats is a type of factoring only. Na? Threats is what? It's a type of factoring. But in threats, you will find it will be only for MSME. Like in the factoring, what we are talking about, bank will provide the immediate cash on your invoice to the seller for the purpose of further transaction or further start its own next contract or agreement, etc. So seller gets here immediate cash while the seller shows the bank the invoice of the trade. Now, in case of threats, the seller will only be your MSME. Okay. In case of threats, the seller is only your what? MSME. So, since threats will not be allowed to assume any credit risk, the entity's minimum paid up equity capital shall be 25 crore. Second, the foreign shareholding in threats would be as per the extent fund investment policy. Third, entities other than promoters will not be permitted to have shareholding in excess of 20% of the equity capital of threats. Fourth, the overall financial strength of the promoters or entity seeking to set up threats would be an important criterion of assessment and selection. So out of these, you have to answer which of the following is actually not correct. A, B, C or D. And the right answer here will be all are correct, but not the third statement. Because if you talk about shareholding in excess of 20% of equity capital, it is not 20%, it is 10%. So the right answer is third is wrong. So right answer will be your D. Only third is incorrect. All the other are correct. So right answer will be D, only third is incorrect. And the wrong thing in the third statement is, it is talking about 20% of equity capital of threats. No, it is 10% of equity capital of threats. Okay, so do remember, each and every statement is giving you a certain information about the concept related to the topic. So in form of question, you are reading or you are revising or you are understanding the actual term which is asked here. Okay. Now, next question is filling the blanks about threats. Okay, and we have how many how many blanks? 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 blanks we have. Okay, so first is asking about threats is a scheme for setting up and operating the institutional mechanism for facilitating financing of trade receivables of dash from corporate other borrowers including government departments, public sector undertaking through multiple financiers. So we are saying that threats, it's what? It is a scheme. Hana, it's a scheme that have been set up operating institutional mechanism. Okay, which do what? Which facilitate financing of trade receivable of dash. From whom? From corporate buyers, etc. etc. So all these parties have purchased the goods from the certain entity that you have to answer here. Hana, on behalf of that trade, the party can take the immediate cash that is known as your threats. And that party will be what? MSME, SME or MSME. So obviously it is a MSME. So you can simply eliminate the B option. So when the micro, small, medium enterprises are selling their goods to any of these parties and these parties have been given them invoice or trade bill which says that the payment of the trade will be done in the future. In that situation, what happened here? The MSME can take the immediate cash facility here. Okay, the next is talking about it is a form of dash. So it is a form of what? Factoring or forfeiting. So I have just told you it's a form of factoring. So it means you can eliminate the option number C as well. Okay, now you have option number A and D, and the D option saying none of the above. It means we have to go through whole question. Okay, now we are talking about to address the financing related issue faced by MSME in India, RBI in the year dash introduced the concept of threats. So when the threats was introduced, it was actually introduced in 2014. It means first, second, third, these 3 blanks is option is correct here. Now, then a mechanism of trade receivable financing for MSME on a secure digital platform. It may be stated that the trade facilitates the discounting of both invoices as well as bills of exchange. Further, as underlying entities are the same, MSME and corporate and other buyers including government department and PSUs, trades could deal with both receivables factoring as well as reverse factoring so that higher transaction volume come into the system and facilitate better pricing. The next thing is the transaction proceeds under trades will be dashed to the MSME. Will be what? To the MSME. And if you are getting a protection here, it means it's a without recourse facility. So your right answer will be A. So trades is for MSME. It's a form of your factoring. It was introduced by RBI in 2014 and the transaction proceeds under the trade will be your without recourse. Without recourse means here if somehow buyer defaults, the factor have to face the loss, not the seller. Okay, that's what it is talking about. So the right answer will be your A option. Right answer here will be A option. Clear? Next question is talking about here. The following are the advantages of forfeiting to the exporters. Okay, so the certain option have been given. First is saying forfeiting provide 100% financing. Second is saying forfeiting improves cash flows of the exporter. Third is saying forfeiting saves administration cost. And out of these, you have to answer which of the following is correct. Which of the following have been done by the your forfeiting advantages to the exporter? A, B, C or D? Okay. So here actually it provides 100% financing because it's a forfeiting. It improves cash flow for exporter. This is also true. Forfeiting saves administration cost. This is also true. So right answer will be your all of the above. The right answer will be your all of the above is correct, or all of the above are the advantages of your forfeiting. Okay, because it provides all these 3 benefits to the people, to the exporter actually. Next question is talking about trades has been introduced. Trades has been introduced. By whom? By RBI, by SEBI or none of the above. So we have discussed that RBI introduced trades. It means you can eliminate the B option. Okay, and TREADS is for what? To look after the difficulties that MSME suppliers have experienced in obtaining payment from their bills drawn on large corporate. So third is saying by RBI for medium-term financing. No, the TREADS is for long-term financing actually, and the right answer will be your A option. The right answer is A. RBI have introduced for the MSMEs because they were facing problem from their customers. Now, next question we have. In the case of single factor system, which of the following is correct? So first is saying there is no import factor, there is no export factor. The import factor comes into the picture when the buyer defaults in making the payment. Fourth is saying the export factor comes into the picture when the buyer defaults in making the payment. So what happened? The factoring can also be done in your international level, and when it happens international level, it have three types. First is single factor system, second is your export factor system, third is you have import factor system. So these three types of systems are there in case of international factoring. Okay, and we are talking about single factor system. It means there will be two factors, but only one factor will be active, and that will be your export factor. The import factor will only be active here in case of your buyer defaults on the due date. Okay, in case if the buyer defaults on the due date, then only the import factor become active in the payment, otherwise no. Otherwise, all the transaction will be taken care by your export factor. So right answer here will be C option. Okay, next question we are talking about the maximum credit period normally permitted under the factoring is. So factoring actually gives us the what? It actually gives us the grace period also. So grace period will be of 60 days, but including 60 days, you will get 150 days for the period of your credit facility. So actually it is 150 days for factoring, and for 150 days it also include your 60 days grace period. So 90 days actually the credit facility is there, and 60 days will be your grace period. Okay, so right answer is your A. Good evening everyone, welcome to the official YouTube channel of Officer Adda 24/7. So first of all, let me know how are you all, and also let me know is audio video both are okay, are we good to go? So I hope till now you all have filed your registration, you have done with your registration. If not, then do make sure you register soon, because in the end you will only find that those slots and those centers or venues will be available, which is actually not good for you. So do make sure you register soon, and do register before 11th of March, because you do not have to pay late fees then. So these are the two things that is very important. Apart from that, if you are facing any kind of difficulty or any kind of problem you are facing in your registration, then you can go and check the FAQ session that I have taken today only at 5:30 p.m. So do make sure you watch that session. If you have any doubt regarding the registration, that's the session we have in the form of FAQ. Okay, so let's start. Today we are having the class number 10. As you can see, we have started Victory series. In Victory series, we are talking about module D first, then we'll go for the module C, A and B. This is the sequence we are going to continue in the Victory series. Now, if we talk about this Victory series, this is available Monday to Saturday at 7 p.m. only on Officers Adda 24/7. And as you can see, this is the 10th class. It means already we have completed the 9 sessions. And where you can find those 9 sessions or those 9 class recording, that will be available on Officers Adda 24/7 in the playlist. So just go to the playlist, and playlist you will find all the sessions recording is available for all the 4 subjects of you, not only for IFS but also for all the subjects. Okay, so let's start. In today's session we are going to cover Indian economy, Indian financial system, module D, that is financial product and services, in which we are going to discuss unit number 38, that is your venture capital. So in the last class, we have discussed factoring, forfeiting, and in today's session we are going to cover your venture capital. So what actually the venture capital is? and who regulate it, and why it is very much important in the as a financial product and service in the country. This is the all thing that we are going to cover in this particular session. Okay, so before moving towards to the MCQ, let's discuss the certain concepts about this chapter. So first of all, venture capital comes under the SEBI's regulation, that is Securities and Exchange Board of India. Venture capital actually provide loan, the certain point I am writing here. First of all, they provide loan to whom? Okay, they provide loan to startups. They are providing loan to whom? They are providing loan to startups. Startups mean unproven companies. They invest money in unproven companies, those companies who are just starting their business in the country. The next thing, because they are unproven companies, obviously there will be a high risk. So venture capital invest or venture capitalists invest in startups and those business which have just started, and there will be high risk always in case of your venture capital. Apart from that, the next thing we talk about here is that it is the investment for long-term period. Okay, they invest for long term because venture capital do what? They collect funds from various investors like the mutual fund does. So they collect the fund from various investors and then invest their money in the startups, in the unproven companies. And they will take that money out from the investment once this startup start earning profit. So as soon as the startup will be earning profit, they will take their money back from the startup. So, and this will not going to happen very soon because this is a startup, this is your innovation, or this is a new product you have introduced in the market. So if public actually is going to accept or not accept it or not, that's a kind of risk for the venture capital as well. So they have to wait for a certain period until the company will start earning profit, and as soon as company does that, they withdraw their money from the startup. Okay, so these are the point. Apart from that, they invest in startups in equity form. It means they purchase their shares and take the ownership in the venture capital. Now this is the benefit for the startup, this is benefit for the entrepreneurs, because there is no obligation on the entrepreneurs. If they will earn profit in this startup, they have to return the money, and if they face loss, everybody have to face loss because you are providing money them in form of equity holding. Okay, apart from that, if I talk about the venture capital will be a kind of fund that makes possible for those people who cannot go to the capital market, who cannot go to the, let's say, any other security market to raise capital, but they have only ideas. They have no other source of funding, but they have ideas, and their ideas are very cool, very good, and they want just the capital funding. So they will be getting help from the venture capital. Okay, so this is the basic features of your venture capital that we have discussed here. Now let's move forward and discuss about the venture capital chapter in form of MCQ. Okay, that will be providing us the more clarity of the chapter. Okay, chalo, let's continue. So the first question on the venture capital is, Achha, before starting with the first question, I want to inform you all that the AIM batch is live on Adda 24/7 application, and from 22nd of March, I am starting your IFS subject. Okay, so, achha, no, not to 26th of March, sorry, 18th of March. It is 18th of March. So from 18th of March, I am starting your IFS subject for English medium batches, and do make sure you enroll if you haven't done practice or if you haven't started preparing for your JAIIB May 2024 paper. So you can go with the comprehensive batch or you can go with the individual batch of IFS. Okay, both are available. Now, the first question we are talking about here, which of the following is our correct about venture capital? Which of the following is our correct about the venture capital? So first is saying here, venture capital may be broadly defined as a long-term investment business. Second, this is usually provided in the form of equity apart from conditional loans and conventional loans. Venture capitalists are thus not financiers only but also bear the risk as well. The most distinguishing feature of venture capital is that it meets the need of a business wherein the probability of loss is quite high. So this is what the venture capital is talking about, and you have to answer out of all these statements, which statement is actually correct about your venture capital. A, B, C or D? Let me know which of the following is correct. So the right answer here in case of venture capital is actually all are correct. They define long-term investment. Okay, this is usually provided in form of equity that I have told you. Apart from equity, they also give conditional and conventional loan. They actually are not only financiers, but they also bear risk because they are investing in form of equity. And also the most different feature of them that meets the need of the business, wherein the probability of loss is quite high risk is there. So all this I have already told you. So right answer will be your all of the above. All are correct in context of your venture capital. Okay, so right answer is D. Now second, it was the Dash Committee, that is Committee on Development of Small and Medium Enterprises, in the year 1972, which recommended the creation of venture capital in India. So you have to first answer which committee have actually recommended to form the venture capitalist in India. Second is saying the committee urged the need for providing such capital to be help new and dash in setting up industries. So the committee urged the need for providing such capital to help new and dash in setting up industries. So which committee is it? If you know the name of committee, you can eliminate certain options. So the committee in case of venture capital is Bhatt committee. We have already discussed. So a committee is Bhatt, so you can eliminate the Malhotra and Rangarajan committee. But still, we should know the all filling the blanks answer because the fourth option is saying none of the above. Okay. So second is saying the committee urged the need for providing such capital to help new entrepreneurs and the technologists, because venture capital actually invest in the startups, and if it's a startup, they are the persons who are entrepreneur. They had just became the entrepreneur. They started doing their business in the country. So that's why entrepreneur and technologist means who are building the new ideas for the startup. So the right answer here will be B. Bhatt committee in 1972 recommended that we should have venture capital, and they provide funding to startups, entrepreneur and the technologist. So right answer will be B. Okay, next question is talking about here which of the following is incorrect about venture capital investment features. So venture capital have certain features that I have already told you in the starting of the session. So you have to find out which of the following is not one of the feature of it. First is saying they are high risk investment made with an intention of making high profits. Second, the investment made are based on short term goals. Third, the investments are made in proven companies which have potential to growth. Fourth, money is invested generally by buying equity shares in the startup companies. So now you have to answer which of the following is incorrect in case of venture capital investments. Only 1, 3, only 1, 4, only 2, 4, only second and third. So there are 4 features in front of you. Out of them, which of the following is wrong? So I can see here it is saying it's a short-term goal. No, it's a long-term goal. It means second statement is your wrong statement. So you can easily eliminate the option number 1 and 2 because it do not cover the second statement. Now the third one is saying their investments are made in proven companies. No, they are the unproven companies. They are startups. They have not started doing business yet. So it means third is also wrong. So right answer will be D. Only second and third wrong. All the other, it means you can say your first and fourth is correct. So right answer will be what? Only second and third. Clear? Next question. Next question we have here that's talking about venture capital financing consists which of the following steps of financing. So in the venture capital financing, we are talking about which of the following steps of financing will be covered. Deal origination, screening, evaluation, post-investment activity, pre-investment activity. So you have to answer under venture capital financing cost consist which of the following steps. A, B, C or D? Okay. So actually the right answer here will be what? Deal origination, screening, evaluation, post-investment is a part of the stages, but not the pre-investment activity. No such kind of activity is there that is pre-investment activity. Okay, so your right answer will be what? All except fifth, it means C option. All are the part, but the fifth statement or the fifth option is actually not a part of the here steps of financing venture capital. So right answer will be your C, all except fifth. Okay, chalo. So let's continue. The next question is talking about here that which of the following is are correct about advantages of venture capital. Like how many advantages are there of the venture capital? First is saying the autonomy and control of the founder is lost as the investor becomes a part owner. Second, the amount of equity finance that can be provided is large. All the entrepreneur is at a safer position as the business does not run on the obligation to repay money, as the investor is well aware of the uncertainties of the project. So here, which of the following is the correct about advantages of your venture capital? So now, first of all, if you can see the amount of equity finance that can be provided is large. This is the benefit for the entrepreneur. He is getting funds to start the business. Okay, and the large capital is available, and that was also in the form of equity. It means no obligation is there. The entrepreneur do not have to worry about that I have to make payment. If the business is going to earn profit in the future, you have to make the payment. If not, then you do not have to make any kind of payment. It means the second and third is correct. They are advantages. First is talking about the autonomy and control of founder is lost as the investor becomes a part owner. So this is a benefit or a disadvantage. So in case of you are not a single owner, you have multiple owners now because you are providing equity holding to the people in your company. So you are not a properly, we can say, a part owner or the autonomy. So in case of entrepreneur, if you see at the point of entrepreneur, this is a negative point. This is what? This is a negative point for the entrepreneur. But we are talking about venture capitalists, so it is good for them. They are getting what? They are getting the equity ownership, so they will be earning more profit in the future as well. So right answer will be all are actually about the advantages of venture capital. So right answer will be your D. Next question we have is about the numbers. The numbers, it means the data we have to remember. So venture capital fund may raise money from any investor, India, foreign or non-resident Indian, by way of issue of units provided the minimum amount accepted from an investor is dash. So there is a limit that have been given by venture capitalists that if you want to invest in here, you can do. But a certain minimum balance or minimum amount have been defined that this have to be invested. Second is saying, moreover, each scheme launched or fund startup by a venture capital fund shall have firm commitment from the investor to contribute at least dash before the start of its operation. So now you have to answer first, what is the minimum amount accepted from an investor? Second, you have to answer like what can be the firm commitment from the investors to contribute at least dash. 5 lakh, 5 crore, 5 crore, 5 lakh, 15 lakh, 5 crore, 2 lakh, 2 crores. So which of the following is correct here? So when it comes from the individual, obviously the amount will be less. So it cannot be 5 crores here. The amount from the individual investor, it should be less. So it cannot be second option. It can be A, C or D. And the right answer is actually A. In case of investor, individual investor, the 5 lakh will be accepted as a minimum amount. And second, in case of commitment from the investor to contribute at least 5 crores before it starts its operation is mandatory. So right answer is your what? A option. Okay, right answer we have is A option. Now, next question is talking about here, which of the following is a right definition of venture capital? So, venture capital, first of all, they are regulated by SEBI. Acha. Venture capital are actually the alternate source of finance. Now, what is alternate source of finance? Let's say if we talk about India, the 60% or more than that needs of capital is actually fulfilled by the commercial banks. So still a lot of companies, a lot of individual persons, they are dependent on the traditional way of your funding. traditional way of raising capital. And this is because people do not trust the other methods, but they trust the banks. And that's why commercial banks are actually fulfilling around 60% of the need of the country, of the economy related to the fundings. Okay, this happens. But now we have alternate source of finance as well. We have what? We have alternate source of finance as well. And this alternate source of finance covers the other required reasons in which capital is mandatory to provide as well. So like venture capital, angel investor, lease hire, lease finance, hire purchase, crowdfunding, P2P lending, they all are what? They all are the alternate source of finance. Okay, the other sources by which you can raise the funds. Now, a venture capital undertaking means a domestic company, first, whose shares are not listed on a recognized stock exchange in India. Second, which is engaged in the business of providing service, production or manufacture of articles or things that does not include any activities of sector which have been included in the negative list by the board. Now you have to answer which of the following definitions are correct, both or none, A, B, C or D. So venture capitals are actually, they are a domestic company. Okay, they are actually not allowed to list their share on this recognized stock exchange, and also they are engaged in the business for providing the service, the production, the manufacturing of articles or the things that does not include the activities related to sector which have been included in the negative list of the board. So obviously right answer will be C, that both the statements are defining the right definition of your venture capital. Okay, the parties who participate in the venture capital, they are known as venture capitalists, who provide funds. So right answer is C, that is both. Next we have in venture capital, there are two ways to raise the fund. Like now if venture capitals are providing fund to the startup, they are also raising funds somewhere. So from where they are raising funds, they have two stages. First is early stage financing, second is later stage financing. So you can see a venture capital fund provide finance to venture capital undertaking at different stages of its life cycle according to the requirement of the business. So these stages are broadly classified into early stage financing, later stage financing. And the question is actually which of the following is further stages of early stage financing. So early stage financing have 3 sub stages and later stage financing have 4 sub stages. Here you have to answer in early stage financing what are the other or the 3 sub stages. Seed capital stage, startup stage, second round financing, all of the above. So which of the following is correct here? Actually the right answer will be your all of the above. These all are the stages of your early stage financing. Okay, so right answer will be D. Now next question, very simple, that the Bhatt committee was set up in the year dash and recommended the creation of dash. So we have just discussed in today's session this particular question. So let me know which of the following is correct. A, B, C or D. Okay, so actually right answer is your, it was introduced in 1972 and it was introduced for what? For the venture capital. They recommended to develop the venture capital. It means right answer is B. So year is 1972 and the recommendation given for venture capital and the committee is Bhatt committee. And I do remember all these 3 things. Now the next question and the last question of today's session is asking about, read the following statement carefully and choose the correct option. So you have 2 statements here, statement 1 and statement 2. Okay, and these are the option A, B, C and D. This is not an option. Okay, so first is saying venture capital may be broadly defined as long-term investment in business which have potential for significant growth and financial returns. This is usually provided in the form of equity apart from conditional loan and conventional loan. Okay, well and good. I guess it's very easy to answer that first is true or not. Second is saying venture capitalists are thus not financiers only but also bear the risk as well. Venture capital consists of early stage, later stage financing. There are 6 steps in the process by which capital financing takes place and the modes of venture capital financing can be through either equity or debt. And I guess the total chapter's summary is in this 2 statement. Whatever we have discussed in today's session, this is the summary of that session and it means both the statements are correct. Okay, right answer will be what? Both answer or both the statements are correct here about the venture capital. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the official YouTube channel of Officer Study 24/7. So first of all, let me know how are you all, and also let me know is audio video both are okay. Are we good to go? So I guess everybody is aware about this session that is for IE IFS subject, your victory series, in which we are discussing every day one particular unit in form of detailed MCQ, or I can say the advanced MCQs. So if I talk about IE IFS subject, you know this subject have 45 units. So first of all, this is your new subject IE and IFS, and it is a part of two subjects, like the two subjects have been combined together to make this subject. And module A and B is part of your Indian economy, module C and D is part of your Indian financial system. There are total 45 units. One second, what happened? There are total 45 units in this particular subject. Just give me a minute. Okay. So how many units are there? Total 45 units are there in this particular subject, and when it comes to the 45 unit, it is a huge syllabus. Okay. So it's very important for all of you. Then start your preparation very seriously for this subject, and the paper of this subject will be your on 25th of May. Okay, but on the next day you also have your PPB syllabus, your PPB paper, so you have to be very clear. Before May, you have to complete the syllabus once, and then you have to start revising in the month of May. Okay, for AFM and RBWM, you have one week gap. AFM will be on 2nd of June, and retail banking will be on 8th of June. So you have more time there. Okay, but when it comes to IE and IFS, this is here your very important subject as well as a new subject for all of you. So do make sure you start preparing soon. And we have started from module D, then we go with C, then A, and then we will discuss with the B. This is the sequence that we follow on the YouTube. Apart from that, one more important thing, these series are not only sufficient to clear your paper, like it's not possible by like after seeing these series you are thinking that I will clear the paper. Not possible. If you want to clear the paper, you have to go with the conceptual study. Conceptual study is very much important for all of you. Okay, so for this conceptual study, I have started your AIM batch, or we can say we have started your AIM batch, which is live. From 6th of March, we have started PPB in this subject, in this batch, and from 22nd of March, we are going to start your IE and IFS. Okay, so this is what we are dealing, we have started recently, and this is the last comprehensive batch for all of you. After this, no comprehensive or new comprehensive batch will not be launched. If you want, you can purchase the earlier ones. You will find the recorded session there. But if you want to take a live classes and you want that from now onwards, you will get the live classes. That's the last batch for offers. After this, you will only find the batches which are already going on. So if you want to enroll right now, 81% discount is also going on in this AIM batch if you use the code Y496. So this is the important information for all of you. Okay, now let's start. Today it's our 11th class. So you can see in module D we have completed 10 class already, and we have discussed certain number of questions from the unit number 29. Because when it comes to module D of IE and IFS, you can see this module financial product and services start from the module unit number 29. So when you see this, you will find here that today we are going to talk about the chapter that is your lease finance and hire purchase. This is the chapter we are going to discuss today. Okay, so first of all, what is lease finance? What is hire purchase? So first we will be discussing the concept of this subject, and then we will move to the MCQs. So when it comes to the lease finance is actually, or I can say both are actually an alternate source of finance. If you go with the lease finance, if you go with the hire and purchase, they both are what? They both are your alternate source of finance. Those say they provide funding to the people who are not able to take funds from the bank because of any reason. So they can go with the alternate source of finance, and they have options like venture capital, lease finance, hire purchase. So they provide loan to the people, or they provide services to the people who want finance. So these are the alternate source of finance. In lease finance, what happened? There are certain important terms in the lease finance. Let's say, for example, lessor. Here, the lessor is actually the owner of the asset. Then we have lessee. Lessee means the tenant, the person who is taking the property or asset on a rent. Then we have lease rental. Hana, we have lease rental. Rental means the rent you are paying on that. Hana, the payment you have to make. That is your lease rental. Actually, it is what? It is a lease rental. Okay. And the last one we have is lease asset. Lease asset means that property which you have taken on a lease. Taken on a lease means you are taking that particular property on rent. Okay. So whatever, it can be any machinery for the production of goods and services. It can be an apartment, it can be a flat, it can be any commodity, it can be a commercial vehicle. So whatever you are taking on a rent, on that you have to make a lease rental. That property will be your lease asset. The person who actually the owner of the property is lessor, and he is giving you the property to utilize or the property to use. That means you are the tenant, you are the lessee. Okay, so I guess this is clear to all of you. Now, if I talk about hire purchase, again, it's a type of your alternate source of finance. In hire purchase, you find like whatever the person, whatever product you want to purchase, you do not have the whole amount in the one go to make the payment of that particular product. So I want to purchase XYZ thing, and that cost actually me around, let's say, 5 to 10 lakhs, but I do not have that much amount of money to make payment in one go. So what I have done, I have simply paid a certain down payment to the seller, the person who is selling the product, and in the installment, in the next 10 or 20 installment, I will be making the rest of the payment to that particular person, and this will be your hire purchase. That's your hire purchase. So in case of hire purchase, first of all, we have hirer and we have hiree. Hirer means the person who is taking the property on rent, or who is purchasing the property. So this is the purchaser. Okay. And hirer means simply your owner. Owner means you can call it a vendor. The person who is selling that particular asset is known as hirer. Okay. Owner, or you can call it a vendor. So simply hirer will be paying a down payment to the hiree and will get the possession of the asset. Okay. And the hirer have to make payment of installment from the next 10 or 20 months, whatever have been decided. And after completing the last payment, like the hirer have made the last installment to the hiree, that the owner, after that the hirer will get the ownership of that particular product. Okay. So this is the hire purchase. I hope clear. Both the terms are clear here. Now let's move forward and discuss the same chapter in form of MCQ. It will give you more understanding of the chapter. Okay, so first is talking about leasing activity was initiated in India in the year dash. The first leasing company of India, named First Leasing Company of India Limited, was set up in that year by Farooq Irani with industrialist dash. You have to answer the name of the industrialist. Next thing, for several years, this company remained the only company in the country until the 20th Century Finance Corporation was set up in the year 1980. So you have to answer in which year this leasing activity was started in India. Okay. And the next thing is with which industrialist it have been started. So you have 1973 Mr. A.C. Muthai, 1974 Mr. Rangarajan, 1987 Mr. R.N. Malhotra, and none of the above. So what do you think? Which of the following is correct? A, B, C or D? Okay. And the right answer here will be, it is A. 1973 is the year when India started your leasing activity, and the next thing is that it was started by Farooq Irani with the industrialist, your A.C. Muthai. Okay. So right answer will be your A option. Next question. Next we have, which of the following is our types of leasing? Which of the following is our types of leasing? Finance operating close cross bank. Okay. Okay, so this is back end. Okay, out of these you have to answer which of the following is the types of your leasing. Finance lease, operating lease, close-handed lease, cross-border lease and back-end lease. And the right answer will be all are correct. All are the type of lease. In the finance lease, you will take the asset for economic life of the asset. In operating lease, you are taking a lease of a particular asset for a short-term period. In close-handed, you will not be allowed to, you will not be allowed to purchase it after a certain while. When your transaction have been completed, your maturity have been completed. Then cross-border, two countries, the parties who are leasing property to each other, they are living in the two different countries. And back end means when your rentals will be high in the end. That is what your back end is. So these are the types of leasing, and the right answer is all of the above. Okay, all are the type of your leasing. So right answer will be all of the above. It will be D, not A. All of the above are correct. Okay, right answer is D. All of the above are correct. Next, which of the following are the advantages of lease finance? What are the advantage of lease finance? You will get regular income, you will get higher profitability chances, then growth and expansion is there. Okay, apart from that, next thing, tax benefits are there, economical it is. So which of the following is our advantage of your lease finance? A, B, C or D? Only two, all except three, all except four, or all of the above? And the right answer will be, so obviously lease finance, you are getting regular rent, it is high profitability, growth and expansion chances are there, tax benefit you will get, economical it is. So right answer is all of these are the advantages of your lease finance. All these are the benefit of having a lease finance. Next, which of the following are the duties of the hire purchase vendor? Question is asking which of the following are the duties of the hire vendor. Vendor means the person who is selling the product. Okay, that's the owner. So first is saying hire vendor has to deliver the goods in due time as required and should make sure that the goods deliver in a good condition. Okay. Second is saying it is the duty of the owner to ensure that the goods are true to the description in accordance with the buyer's preference. Okay. Third is saying the owner must have a title to the goods that are to be contracted for the hire purchase. Fourth is saying the owner has right to use the property as if it was his own, but with a condition that hirer must take care of the property with the due diligence. So which of the following are the duties of hire vendor, that's the owner of the property? And the right answer here will be your all are correct. The first is correct, the second is correct, third is correct, but not the fourth one. The owner is not having the right to use the property. The owner is giving right to the hirer that you can use my property, but on that you have to pay this rent to me. Okay, or this amount to me as a down payment, and the rest amount in the form of installment you have to make payment. So right answer will be fourth is not correct. Hana? Which of the following is not correct? Fourth is not correct. All are correct. So right answer will be all except 4. Because it should be in place of owner, it should be a hirer. Okay. So right answer will be your D. All are the duties of hire vendor except the fourth one, because fourth one is the duty of the hirer. Next. Which among the following is false regulation or false regarding the lease financing? The false statement regarding lease financing. First is saying leasing is a method of acquiring the right to use equipment or asset for consideration, resulting in an entrepreneur getting the right to use the asset. Second, the participants in this call are called the lessor and lessee. Third, the lessee remains the owner of the asset, but the possession and economic use of the asset is vested in the lessor. Fourth, the periodic interest to be paid by the lessee for the use of an asset is called lease rental. So which of the following you think is not correct or a false, we can say, in context to lease financing? A, B, C or D? Which of the following is false? A, B, C or D? Okay. And the right answer will be actually the C option. It is not true. The lessee do not remains owner of the asset. The lessor remains the owner of the asset. But the possession and economic use of asset vested with the lessee it should be. So their places have been interchanged. Okay, so that's why the third statement is wrong. Your answer will be C. C is not correct about the leasing or lease financing, we can say. Next question, which among the following statements are false regarding the hire purchase agreement? A statement false about hire purchase agreement. First is saying, thus the ownership of the asset is passed on to the hirer only on payment of the last installment. Second, the amount and number of installments are fixed when the delivery of the assets to the hirer. Third, if the hirer makes a default in making payment of any installment, the seller is entitled to recover the asset from the hirer. Fourth, it's saying the hirer on his own cannot return the asset to hiree without any commitment to pay the remaining installment. So, which of the following is false? You have to answer. So, see, the first is correct. Ownership of the asset will be passed to the hirer on the last installments payment. It is correct. The amount and number will be pre-decided at the time of you are providing to the you are providing the asset to the hirer. Then third is also correct that the hirer makes a default in making payment of any installment. The seller is entitled to recover from the hirer. Okay. Now, but the fourth is not correct because it says that a hirer on his own cannot return the asset. It can return the asset. If hirer is not anymore capable of making the installment to you, hirer can return the product to you that I am not capable of making further installment. So, take your product here. It is allowed to the hirer. So, right answer will be B. The fourth statement is false regarding the hire purchase. So, your right answer will be here B. Okay. Next. Next question we have in form of match the following. First, you have a types of leasing. Second, you have a definition here. And you have to match them with each other. So, first is saying percentage lease. Second is open-ended. Third is cross-border. So, I guess cross-border everybody knows that when their parties are in two different countries, that's a cross-border lease. Okay, so let's find out. The second statement is saying, or the second definition is saying here, the lessee and the lessor are situated in two different countries. So, this is confirmed that the third have a B answer. Okay, the third match is B, so you can eliminate the B option here because it is saying third is A. Okay, now second, we have to find out percentage lease. So, first is saying the lessee has the option of purchasing the asset. This option will be given. This option will be given in case of what? Open-ended. So, second is A. If second is A, it means the first option also eliminated. And obviously, the first is what? The first is your C. So, C, A, B will be right combination and this is the combination here. Okay, so in open-ended, you have an option that you can purchase the asset at the time of end of your lease contract. Second, your cross-border parties are living in two different countries. In case of percentage lease, the lessor needs to pay fixed lease rental plus the some percentage of the previous year's gross revenue. It means right answer will be your C. That's the right combination between the two. Okay, next question. Next is talking about which point of difference between the lease finance and hire purchase agreement is correct. You have to find out difference between lease and hire purchase. First is saying lessor can claim the depreciation while hire purchaser cannot. Second, the hire purchaser can become the owner of the asset after the payment of last installment when lessee cannot. Third, a lease transaction is a type of installment credit while a hire purchase agreement is a commercial arrangement. So, which of the following is the right difference between the two? A, B, C or D? And the right answer is obviously you can see all the three statements that we have read here are your what? Second is saying that the hire purchaser can become the owner of the asset after the payment of last installment by lessee cannot. Lessee can become, because in the open-ended we have discussed the lessee can own the property. So, right answer we are talking about here is your B. Okay, so point of difference is correct. Here is your point of B. Because in the first, it is not the correct difference between the two. The first is saying lessor can claim the depreciation. No, lessee can claim the depreciation. This is wrong. And the third is saying a lease transaction is a type of installment credit. No, actually, it's what? It's the agreement. Lease transaction is agreement and hire purchase is your what? It's a installment credit. So the right answer is your B. Only B option is defining the correct difference between the two. Okay, so right answer will be your B. Now, next question is talking about a dash is an arrangement where the lessor borrows a portion of purchase price from some lender or financial institution. This loan is secured by the assets and lease renter. The loan is repaid out by the lease renters either directly by lessee or the lessor. So, question is asking here, okay. Question is asking here about what the question is asking, which of the following is the right definition of this particular paragraph, which lease is giving you the right definition. So you are taking a loan to provide the lease and it's very obvious it's what? It's a leverage lease. And whatever rent you are getting on that particular property which you have given on a lease by taking loan from the bank, you purchase that property and now that property you are providing on a lease. So whatever rent you are earning on that property, that's your part of lease rental and that will be paid by directly to the bank, or maybe the lessee will pay to the lessor and the lessor will pay to the bank. Okay, so right answer here is what? Leverage lease. Okay, so these are the questions we have discussed about lease financing and hire purchase. I guess it is clear to all of you. Now, the next, first of all, let me know how many answers you have given correct. The next information is that in the Mahapack, you find double validity and 81% discount. And in AIM and Manzil batch, you are getting 81% discount if you use the code Y496. Okay, now both are available right now for all of you. This offer is going to end tomorrow. If you are looking for the best option, then that's the best option. How to enroll? Just go to the Adda 24/7 application. Do download the application. Okay, and on application, you will find the home page where you will find your where you will find your exam category. So this is your application's home page. Click on the JAIIB CIB here. Once you click on JAIIB CIB, you will find these. So JAIIB May 2024. You find all the live classes, test series are available, video courses are available, ebooks are available and hard copy books are available. Everything is available on the same page. How to enroll? Because Mahapack have double validity, so I guess that's the best option for you. But still, if you want an individual batch, that is your batch. So AIM batch started already. These are the video courses you will find here. Then test series are available topic wise as well as full length. Then ebooks are also available. So you can check from here and scroll down. Once you scroll down, you will find the study plan, and on a study plan, all these subjects are available. Okay, so click on the particular subjects study plan. You will find that AFM is going to start 22nd of March, 7 to 8 p.m. will be timing of your AFM. This is how you can check all the 4 subjects. Then to enroll, just click on the buy now option, and to get the maximum discount, use the code Y496. Apply, you will find 81% discount here. The additional one will be available if you purchase the same product from Adda 24/7 application. So 81% discount. 6-month validity will be available in the AIM batch. And if you want to get the Mahapack, so all the benefits or AIM batch will be available in the Mahapack. Additional benefits will be this, like you have a mini marathon and Maha marathon here. The practice paper will be available on every 2nd and 4th Saturday. Okay. Then when we scroll down this, we will find all the features of the Mahapack. So once you enroll in the Mahapack, you will get all live classes, mock tests, all revision batches. So in the month of April, every subject's revision batch will be launched. It will be already added in your account. Numerical batches are also going to be launched this time. Power pack batches will be also going to be launched. All these batches will be allowed in your account once you enroll in the Mahapack. So you do not have to purchase again and again the new product. Okay. By enrolling in the Mahapack, you will get all the products available in one go. So 81% discount, 1-year validity, code is Y496, and this offer will end tomorrow. So if you are thinking about enrolling, enroll soon and start your preparation. Okay. Apart from that, if you are willing to regularly join the YT session, then what you have to do, just subscribe the channel Officers Adda 24/7 and press the bell icon so that all the upcoming sessions notification will be given to you. Okay, and that's all for today. Let's end the session here. Thank you all for joining the session and see you in the next class. Till then, take care everyone.